So I never thought I'd say it, but Microsoft bought Bethesda, and it might be the biggest gaming news story of the last decade. Let's get into it. So today I wake up and find that Microsoft has purchased Bethesda Softworks, makers of Doom, Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Dishonored, and many other games. And so I don't think that I've seen an acquisition this massive and this earth-shaking, really, in the gaming industry since Activision purchased Blizzard. Bethesda has some of the most beloved franchises in the entire world in its stable of games. You know, they're so big as an individual entity that they actually have their own E3 press conference and everything. You know, Doom Eternal is one of my favorite games of all time, and along with Elder Scrolls and Fallout. And in this lead up to the next generation, it appears that Microsoft is really doing everything that it possibly can to kind of take away from the idea that Sony has all the exclusives. Because, well, if these games, these massive games from Bethesda are going to be exclusive, and that's the big what if amongst all these games, really, is, you know, will these be Microsoft exclusives? Will they continue to appear on PlayStation consoles? So let's get into it real quick. So I'm going to get into this article real quick from Polygon that basically goes over what Phil Spencer and everybody at Xbox posted today in regards to the purchase, okay? Bethesda games have always had a special place on Xbox and in the hearts of millions of gamers around the world. Our teams have a close and storied history working together, from the amazing first Doom and its id Tech engine, innovating games on PC, to Bethesda bringing their first console game to the original Xbox, the groundbreaking The Elder Scrolls III Morrowind. Over the years, I've had many deep conversations with the creative leaders at Bethesda on the future of gaming, and we've long shared similar visions for the opportunities for creators and their games to reach more players in more ways. Just as they took the first bold steps to bring the Elder Scrolls franchise to the original Xbox, Bethesda were early supporters of Xbox GamePass, bringing their games to new audiences across devices, and have actively been investing in new gaming technology like cloud streaming in games. We will be adding Bethesda's iconic franchises to Xbox Game Pass for console and PC. One of the things that has me most excited is seeing the roadmap with Bethesda's future games, some announced and many unannounced, to Xbox console and PC, including Starfield, the highly anticipated new space epic currently in development by Bethesda Game Studios. Spencer said the acquisition is a landmark step for Microsoft. In a news release, Microsoft said it now has 23 creative studio teams, up from 15, making games for Xbox and PC. Microsoft will add Bethesda games to Xbox Game Pass for console and PC too. Microsoft also intends to add future Bethesda games to Xbox Game Pass the same day they launch on Xbox or PC, specifically calling out Bethesda Game Studios' Starfield. One of the things that has me most excited is seeing the roadmap with Bethesda's future games, some announced and many unannounced, to Xbox console and PC, including Starfield, the highly anticipated new space epic currently in development by the Bethesda Game Studios. Pete Hines, Senior Vice President of Global Marketing and Communications at Bethesda, posted a separate letter on the developer's website outlining why Microsoft is a good fit for the company. Hines said the company has a long history of working with Microsoft and will continue to make games as it always has. But the key point is we're still Bethesda, Hines wrote. We're still working on the same games as we were yesterday, made by the same studios we've worked with for years, and those games will be published by us. Hines added that the Microsoft acquisition will allow Bethesda more resources to innovate and to grow. Microsoft's acquisition of ZeniMax Media and Bethesda Softworks unites the Fallout publisher and Fallout New Vegas developer Obsidian Entertainment under the same company. Also of interest, Bethesda has two games slated as timed exclusives for Microsoft's competitor Sony. Published by Bethesda, Arcane Studios' Deathloop and Tango Gameworks' Ghostwire Tokyo are expected to be time exclusives when they release on PlayStation 5 next year. $7.5 billion deal for Bethesda from Microsoft. And I really think that a lot of this has to do with the fact that Microsoft is trying to bolster their first party. In response to everything that Sony's been doing over the years. They've always been second fiddle in terms of first party, And this just brings in so many franchises for them, so many established huge franchises. Also, Bethesda really, for them, this is a great move, I think, because they've been kind of operating in a weird space lately. You know, their biggest games have been Skyrim and Fallout 4 in the last like 10 years. Fallout 76 was a huge disappointment. And really, like Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal and the Dishonored franchises, they're great and everything, but they don't sell huge amounts like Fallout or Skyrim do. So really, they've just been on a steady decline in terms of like how gamers view them. And especially with their announcement of Starfield and the Elder Scrolls 6 being like so far out and them only really showing like logos at that point, it has people really worried about like the future of Bethesda. So I think that they've taken a really bad hit in terms of like how gamers view them in the last couple of years. And this will basically allow them to kind of just have that influx of cash from Microsoft and to be able to really have like the full support of Microsoft behind their projects. And it allows them to take their time really, where, you know, it seemed like their next two biggest projects were going to be pretty far out. It had to have been kind of a financial strain on them. So what does this mean for Sony? Like the article said, there are two games, Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop, that are timed PS5 exclusives that now Microsoft owns the publisher that is providing those games. So it's pretty uncertain what's going to happen with those. I would imagine that they just stay where they're at. They're going to still be PS5 timed exclusives. But beyond that, I'm not entirely sure. And for Microsoft, this is a huge win. With the acquisition that they did of EA's games for Game Pass, and them being able to add Bethesda's games, all of their games to Game Pass, the amount of stuff that you can play on the Xbox platform for such a low price with Game Pass is absolutely bananas. And the fact that there are such huge franchises, they've got some of the biggest franchises ever. Now they have Madden, they have Battlefield, they have FIFA, and on top of that, now they have Bethesda's games. Now they have Fallout, now they have Skyrim, now they have all the Elder Scrolls, now they have all the Dooms. Like, everything that they have is just tremendous now. And this has to be a huge hit against PlayStation. I mean, I'm a pretty big PlayStation supporter, but I can't see how this isn't anything but bad news for PlayStation. And I think this is the biggest merger that we've seen since Activision acquired Blizzard. Certainly, almost $8 billion worth of money spent on this acquisition is huge, just insane. But also, the kind of stuff that they're coming out and saying about this deal, it's the same things that we heard about. It's the same things that we heard from Bethesda, with Pete Hines saying one of the, we're going to continue to be the same developer. We're going to make the same games. We're still going to be the same Bethesda that you've grown to love. But we've also seen with acquisitions such as this that, Bethesda could stay the same and continue to make the games that they continue to make, which at this point, like, people are very cynical about them, and they have every right to be. Their last couple games have been complete trash in terms of like actual Bethesda developed games. So Bethesda as a developer has been in a terrible way for a long time. So I think that they're really just selling out on top at this point. If Bethesda follows, like, there's room for optimism here, but if Bethesda follows the road of Blizzard after the acquisition from Activision, I can't see that as a win, though, for the overall health of the studio. I mean, what people think of Blizzard is in the trash at this point. And so, this could be a great thing for Microsoft, or they could do exactly what Activision did and kind of just run the studios into the ground. I'm not entirely sure. That's a very cynical take. But walking away from this, what I take away from this is a huge win for Microsoft, and there's still a lot to be seen in terms of what's going to happen coming up in the future. But easily the biggest gaming news of the last 5 years, maybe more than that. So yeah, that's one man's take anyways. So if you like to leave a comment, share your thoughts. Let me know what you got going on in the comments below. Hit us up on Twitter at nonsensory1. Hit us up on Gmail at nonsensorypod@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Love the engagement. Thanks so much for stopping by if you did. And remember to like and subscribe. We love you guys. Thanks very much. Have a good one.